Out with the old.
And in with the new. The VCORE is here. The VCORE version 8 is here, and we've been testing the full range. And lucky you, we're going to take you through the whole lot.
And boy, there's a lot of them. There is a full range. The 95, the 98L, the 98, the 98 Tour, the 100L and the 100 have been updated. And we're pleased to report there are some new additions to the range as well.
There are 4 new rackets in the range, 3 of which you'll probably be less excited about, but nonetheless, great additions.
Yes, we've got a alpha range. Like the E-Zone previously a year ago, we've now got VCORE Alphas 2, but there's something even more exciting than that.
We have a brand new racket to the Tour Spec. We have a 100D.
What does the D stand for, Josh?
Density.
Yes, we've got an additional string. So if you're worried about launch angle in your 100, if you wanted more control in your 100, perhaps the 100D is the one for you.
Yes, and this is a good point to remind you all that the VCORE is Yonex's spin frame. That's what these rackets are all about. They are for generating as much spin as possible.
The previous VCORE was, some would say, more of an all-rounder racket. We use it as our string testing frames, the actual VCORE 100 from the previous version, because we thought it sat quite nicely sort of in the middle of all tennis rackets. It wasn't particularly powerful or spinny or control. It satisfied a lot of players and was probably, we described it as sort of the best all-round racket.
Absolutely.
So an update to this.
Yeah. How exciting to get an update on the best all-round racket in the world.
The VCORE is very popular here at PH Tennis. It's very popular amongst club level players, but it's also very popular on the professional circuit.
Yes, 10% of the ATP and WTA top 100 players use
No way.
the VCORE. They do indeed.
Well, as of the 3rd of March 2025.
Okay.
So maybe not, maybe it's
Maybe
like
some have dropped. Some have dropped off.
Might be more.
It could also
It could also be more.
11%.
12% of the tour using VCOREs, because it is tremendous. Josh, a little bit about what's new. What are they telling us that it's going to do?
We are now all about the 4 S's. Is that an S?
Yeah, well, kind of. S's.
I did that.
I think we could do that in post. Can we do
S's.
it? You do S in post?
Yeah.
The 4 S's.
Sweet spot, stability, speed, and snapback.
Yes, indeed, those are the 4 S's. And there is obviously a new piece of tech or spec change that sits into each of those S's.
Like any update to a racket, there's a few new bits of tech, there's a few little tweaks here and there, but we're not going to bore you with that right here. We're going to go across to Nerd Corner to give you all of the spec, all of the tech, and what it's meant to do.
Welcome nerds to Nerd Corner, and it is the new VCORE being put to the test this time. How exciting! Now let's get straight into the standard specs. We have got the 95. It's got a 310 gram static weight, 310 mil balance point, and a beam width of 22 mils throughout. This is a 1620 pattern. For the 98s, they are all, funnily enough, 98 square inch heads. They've all got the same beam width 2, which is 23 to 23.5 down to 22 mils. In the 98 Tour, you've got 315 gram static weight, you've got 320 mil balance point. In the 98, you've got 305 gram static weight, 315 mil balance point. And in the 98L, you've got a static weight of 285 grams and a 325 mil balance point. In the hundreds, and this is where we've got a new one that's pretty exciting, but I'm going to start with the 100, which is a 300 gram static weight, a 320 mil balance point. Then the 100L, 280 gram static weight, 320 mil balance point. And the new boy, the 100D, 305 grams, 315 mil balance point, and all of these same beam width, 24, 26, 23 mil. We also have a new alpha range similar to the E-Zone previously, we've now got an Alpha range, and in the Alpha range are the following rackets. We've got the VCORE Alpha, that's 275 grams, 320mm balance point. We've got the Alpha Light, 260 grams, 335mm balance point, and we've got the VCORE Alpha SL, 245 grams, 340mm balance point. These are all 100 square inch frames. In the junior range, we've got the 25, the 26, the Ace, and the Play, ranging from 265 grams down to 225, various balance points as you can see on the screen. Terrific, surprisingly good junior rackets. I recommend you give these a go because they are really terrific. That's not nerdy, that's opinion based, but there you go. I should caveat the fact that we are missing a key Nerd Corner metric, and that is the swing weight. Now, Yonex are unable to provide us a swing weight, as most brands are not able to, and because we haven't been able to get the rackets on our own machine yet, we can't give you those swing weights. But I can assure you, as soon as we do, those swing weights will be updated in the description below. So as soon as we've got the rackets, before the racket is launched, we'll have the swing weights for you, nerds. Now onto the new tech, and as we mentioned on court, the big thing for the new VCORE is the 4 S's. Sweet spot, snapback, speed, and stability. And I'm going to take you through what each one of those means in terms of what the spec is doing to give those things in the new VCORE. Let's start with sweet spot, and it's bigger. Who would want it smaller? It's bigger. We've got a lengthened top end of the frame, giving 4% larger sweet spot, and this is in addition to the already enlarged sweet spot given by the isometric head. The extended tapering in the inner frame also improves flex and ball pocketing, so we've got greater pocketing and we've got a greater sweet spot. The next S is the snapback, and this is a redesigned top frame grommet which features a unique shape that allows the strings to move more freely, helping generate greater spin and ball rotation. This exclusive Yonex grommet design is key to achieving spin access with ease. As you can see from the diagram, the vertical oval from the previous grommets has been changed to a horizontal oval, allowing more string movement, therefore more snapback. There you go. The next S is speed, and this is all about aerodynamics. Is there anything more nerdy than that? Probably. The aerodynamics means you can swing faster and therefore generate more spin. The redesigned aerodynamic frame enhances swing speed, allowing you to generate more spin with every shot, regardless of your swing style. Swing it how you like and you're getting more of it. Speed is essential for unlocking maximum spin. If you look at the diagram on your screen now, you'll see how that has been changed, and you will even see how much more aerodynamic it is. The drive swing up 24%, the flat swing up 8%, wiper swing up 5%. Aerodynamics, faster swing, more speed. That's the next S. And the final 4S, and probably the most telling thing in the racket, is the increase in stability. This is going to give you powerful and confident spin. As you can see from the diagram, we now have a unique blend in the VCORE of servo filter, 2G NAMD flex force, and VDM, as well as Yonex's exclusive carbon fiber alignment, optimizing power, stability, and ball pocketing. So you've got servo filter in the head of the frame, you've got strengthened carbon fiber alignment in the yoke, you've got the 2G NAMD flex force in the shaft, and you've got VDM in the handle. So it's combining loads of Yonex tech to give the VCORE its own unique feel by combining lots of existing elements. Very cool. So that's it from Nerd Corner. Back onto court where we're going to test it all out.
We have got a brand new string in these VCOREs. We have the whole range here. It is out with Polytour Strike. That is gone. We now have Polytour Force. That was weird.
This has been strung at 52 pounds across the full range.
Yeah, that's right. We are going to be testing them here on these lovely indoor courts to let you know what we think.
So without further ado, let's get on court and put these rackets through their paces.
As you can see, my jumper is off. I have played on the courts. I'm now hot and sweaty, and I have opinions about the rackets. Do you, Ben?
Yes, I do, and I am pleased to report that they are fantastic.
Very good.
Excellent. I told you I'd be brief.
Very brief. Yes, I would say that Yonex promises more power and more spin, and they deliver on those two things.
The 4 S's are
Essing.
brilliant.
Superb. You could
Yes.
say.
Superb. There should be 5 S's.
Yes. So across the range, increase in spin, increase in power, and certainly a different, I would say, more stable, solid feel.
Yeah, I think my main takeaway across the range is in stability. I couldn't notice much change in spin, if I'm honest, which is strange because the 4S is all about more spin. But stability certainly was improved. I think of all the rackets that we've tested, or all the ranges we've tested, I thought the movement up between, we mainly focused on the 100, the 98, and obviously the new 100D. I think the change between those three and how that will suit certain playing styles and levels was really pronounced. So I think it'll be interesting to, when we go into those, to really, they're all good, but I think it's quite easy to almost pick the type of people who are going to like each of those three.
I think in that sense, similar to the E-Zone, the 98 and 100 there's a clear difference, and I think that's the case here again. I think the 98s, to me, were my favourite. I thought the 98s were absolutely amazing, but the jump to 100 is significant.
I think, overall, to try and put a little bow on first thoughts, they all feel very similar, but they all play very differently, which is quite remarkable. That's not very common when we test whole ranges at the same time. So you get a nice solid feel, you get the same sort of similar amounts of spin, but when you start going from 100 to 100D to 98, it's like, whoa, these play really differently. And like you said, for very different people. And that's what we'll try and do now, I guess, is help you find which VCORE you want, because you probably want one.
You're so YouTube.
Am I?
So we are going to go through our main racket playing characteristic categories.
Yes, they are power, spin, control, touch and feel, sometimes comfort.
Sometimes not.
Yes.
But what we are going to do is go through sort of each racket for a more in-depth review. Like we said earlier, we will have whole videos on each one coming up soon.
So if you don't want to miss the review of the 100D or the 98 or the 100 or the 98 Tour, smash that subscribe button, as they say. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss those reviews when they come. But let's talk about the range as a whole, and we start, obviously, Josh.
Power. Power, obviously, is the ability for the racket to hit the ball hard, for the ball to fly fast across the court. And this has definitely improved from the previous generation. Of all the ones we tested, I would say the 100 is quite obviously and naturally the most powerful, as you'd expect from the bigger head size and the 16-19 string pattern.
Yes, I feel like with the 98 and the 98 Tour, and actually the 98L, you get exactly what Yonex have promised. You get an increase in power, a little increase in power, an increase in spin, but it's not too much. Whereas I would posit that potentially with the 100, the 100 is a little too much, pushes it a little bit too far for my taste.
Well,
however,
Mr. E-Zone saying that the vehicle's too powerful. It's nowhere near as powerful as an E-Zone.
But if memory serves, Joe didn't like the 100 E-Zone either.
yes. But what I think is brilliant is that the 100D with the extra string in tempers that beautifully. So if you like the 100 square inch frame, but you want it tempered slightly so you're not blasting out the back of the court, then maybe the 100D is the one.
Overall, power is certainly good. The 100 has probably got the most. The 98 is really easy to access. And as expected, the 95, if you get it out the middle, you're going to get exactly what you want. But power is not the main thing we're after today. We are here using a VCORE, and the VCORE is all about spin. So boys, what do we think about the spin?
More.
Way more.
But you slightly disagree.
Little bit more.
Okay.
Little bit more, maybe only because you think it's more.
Maybe.
And you
but
try and get more. I still think it does. It still feels like a VCORE. It still plays like a VCORE.
Agreed, yeah.
Which, to my mind, doesn't necessarily play like a spin racket in the traditional sense if you're thinking aero, if you're thinking the other spin rackets.
It's great. It's better than that. It can do more. I
think it's just its secondary focus. If you think aero is like spin with power, this VCORE is spin with control and stability. I think it was like a wit, like that's. I think it's sort of it's side hustle.
Yes.
If I may, the feeling I had was it wasn't a spin racket, but it had really good access to spin. So if you want it, it's there, but it's not giving it to you.
Yeah.
So I think maybe, like Josh said, I was playing with more spin because I kind of expected it, and it's like, oh yeah, there's loads of spin in this racket. Again, especially the 100 and the 98, I'd say just as much. But if you want to play flat, you can. It's really good at sort of just giving you what you want in regards to spin.
And like I was saying, while I was extolling the virtues of the extra string in the 100D in terms of tempering that power, it also tempers the spin. So the extra string, obviously tighter bed, less movement, so slightly less spin with that 100D, but more spin. Good. On to control. Not boring, Josh, but vital.
Yes, and the control to me was like a VCORE, really good. Exactly what you'd expect. The stability and sort of the security that made me feel kind of gets translated into control in my mind, almost. It's like I feel like I've got a nice, very high quality, solid, well-made racket in my hand, and that just sort of allows you to play in a more controlled manner, almost.
So I think, again, with that split between 98 and 100s, if I was just going to split 98, 100, in the 98, loads of control, like absolutely phenomenal top-end control, not like a pro stuff or something like that, but you know, top-end control. Whereas the 100, I found myself having to sort of temper my swing, change things slightly because of that extra power.
Yeah, I think if we always talk control, one of the negatives often thrown at the VCORE in previous generations was the launch angle being quite high. I don't think that necessarily has changed in the 100. The 100D obviously has helped reduce that a little bit. And the extra weight in the 100D I think also gives it a bit more control as well. And the balance point shifts a little bit too. The 98 being obviously the most controlled of those three, and then obviously the 95 is sort of ultimate control out of this range for sure.
Alto control.
I mean, interestingly, having placed it in the pure Aero 98, which is coming very soon too, that versus this VCORE 98 is going to be a very interesting
A battle for the ages.
Yeah.
2026 is the year of spin, isn't it?
It is indeed. And finally, let's talk about touch and feel. So we haven't got Minilon like we got in the E-Zone. We have got servo filter added for that stability.
We of course have VDM in the handle.
Obviously, the controversial.
Yeah, it's mixed opinions on VDM, isn't it?
I don't go anywhere without VDM.
I'm sure you don't.
So, touch and feel.
Very nice.
Yes.
And I think all of us instantly kind of went, ooh.
Yes. And to me, that's driven by the stability. It feels very, very stable, especially at the net. But anytime you're defending, really, really stable, and therefore you feel in control of the touch and feel. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think the overriding feature of this racket, as you can probably tell, is stability. I think what's unique about it is that often stability comes from stiffer rackets like an E-Zone, where it's got that wider body and it's supposed to be stiff and stable and secure. It still has high levels of maneuverability and some nice touch and feel to it, which you don't get from those stiffer rackets, but it's still very stable, which is why I think where it's really ticked a lot of boxes.
Yes, so Yonex did promise, if I may, Joe.
Absolutely.
The yoke here across has been more stability added, whereas more flexibility has been added up here in the head and in the shaft. So I guess it's that combination of a nice bit of stability in the middle of the frame with a bit of flexibility around it, a bit more aerodynamics, just means you've just got this racket that moves really easily through the air and just feels nicer to play with, almost. The contact on the ball is so, like, it's not plush, it's not soft and spongy, but it's still really comfortable. It's one of the most comfortable and connected feels I think I've ever got from a racket. Usually, like Josh said, you get one or the other. This one is, all of them have kind of managed to get both somehow. It's very impressive.
And I think what's really cool is that it's to be honest, I expected Minilon to be in the VCORE as well, and I think it's actually really cool that it's not, because what you've got is two very, very good rackets that feel very different. They've got a real separate. I played with an E-Zone alongside a couple of them just to get a different sense of how they played. You get a very different feel in this than you do with the Minilon. More connected, probably, for most of you.
So we've been through our categories and we're basically saying it's great on everything, which harks back to what we said at the start, this necessarily not being sort of pigeonholed as a spin racket, that it very much is a range that is an all-rounder and can be used and tackled by all sorts of players who want all sorts of different things out of their racket.
Yes.
But we have forgotten probably the internet's most important part.
What's that?
Well, kind of. What does it look like?
Oh, what does it look like?
It's red. It's very red. Yeah. It's glossy. It's very different. Obviously, gloss is in this year.
It's Prada over there.
Personally, when I first saw it, I wasn't enamoured.
Really?
But actually, being on court, seeing it down the other end being used, I think it works really nicely. Would I have picked beige for the detailing? Maybe not. But I wouldn't have picked blue for the detailing and people like that.
It is remarkably subtle for a Yonex racket, and it really benefits from it. Yeah, but it's subtle so let me clarify the subtlety. It's bright red and it's shiny, so perhaps not subtle in that sense, but there's no mad patterns, there's no mad design, there's no chopping, changing of colours and little patterns, stuff like that. It's very clean. Yes, it's very red, but it's very, very sleek. So there you have it, the VCORE range introduced to you.
And as always, we will be doing in-depth reviews of each of these specific rackets, or the important ones. We probably won't do a Alpha SL.
Don't tell them.
I don't, yeah.
And before we go, very quickly, which one, off the top of your head, snap decision, if you had one, which one would you go for?
98.
100 do.
I go 98 as well, I think.
Boring.
As always, don't forget to like, follow, share and subscribe so you never miss a thing from Ben, Joe and Josh at PH Tennis.
That was very TV.